welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, Friday, August 23rd, 2024. I'm Giovanni Benacourt, and let's get right with it. We're going to be seeing today's a lot of volatility. For one side, we are seeing that obviously today we're going to be seeing the Mr. Powell's speech at Jackson Hole. All right. Meantime, investors may want to remind themselves that it has been an AI frenzy and tech stocks led by Nvidia that have carried much of the market since last year. Nvidia will report earnings on Wednesday, and if analysts are right, it could be another beat and raise quarter on which shareholders have to come and rely. Now, also next week, the jobs report. The next jobs report will affect the outlook for rates more than Powell's speech today, which is going to be coming out. So during his speech, we might be seeing a lot of volatility that will be coming out. So far, we saw yesterday that the market actually retreated. It did came up to our resistance of 20,000, more shy of 20,000, actually 20,023, and it quickly retreated. It closed in the red. It did close below the 50-day moving average. So therefore, even though it did close below it, now today we are above it. Perhaps this could be something of positioning for business institutions that have led the way, and as his speech comes about, we'll see that volatility rising from here. Could go either way. Markets could rise or they could fall, depending on his rhetoric. Obviously, we know that cutting interest rates are gonna happen, need to happen. The pace, how much, that's obviously we won't know until it's done. But his speech today will guide us, will give us a clue, really. So, as far as the Nasdaq goes, I'm going to leave the same particular levels that we see in front of us. So, cautiously being optimistic in the morning to the upside for the Nasdaq. The S&P did fluctuate below our level of support, so we're going to have to lower that. And I am going to use this low, and I'm going to keep the same high as yesterday. So keep that in mind. It could be a quick jump to the upside and then fastly dropping. So we have to be careful on that, on how we look at the markets today. And then let's take a look at the Dow whenever it populates. Markets indices indeed have done much of the volatility today. In reality. Let's see if this will be, come on, there you go. All right, so we have the Dow. Same token for the Dow. Really, even though it did fluctuate below it did close above our support. So I'm just going to use this particular 40,500 and change. I'm going to leave the same level of resistance. So cautiously being optimistic. A quick jump as his speech begins could be obviously most likely seen. The Russell still within range, making the same highs, equal lows, a breakout. You see how the 50-day moving average is creeping up, and medium on the Bologna Brents is creeping down. Whenever this crosses, okay, it could give us some sort of a signal, perhaps. So let's see what will be that signal. Okay, as you see here, the signal when the medium cross below the 50-day moving average, on that crossing, after that crossing, the market kind of began to turn down. So let's see if we see the opposite on the Russell. Crude oil has been making a nice move to the upside. That bottom of 71.50 has been met and obviously been giving us a good trade So to the upside, 75 and a quarter is the target for today, buying that. Nat Gas seems to be just giving back a lot of the, those gains. So therefore, we're looking at Nat Gas to trade lower. $2 is a psychological levels of support. So let's just use, perhaps it's most likely this is going to continue to go. So let's just use, that's too much. Let's just use right here, 195. And let's bring down our level of resistance to 223. So selling Nat Gas. Gold, after retreating and dropping yesterday, it did fluctuate below our level of support, but quickly retreated and closed above it. It just violated it. So therefore, we're going to have to obviously lower that puppy down. 2470 is going to be our level of support, and still 2520 is going to be there. So depending also on what he says, we could probably see a nice spike on gold to the upside. So 2520 could be met today. Then we have silver. It is looking to sustain itself above the 50-day moving average. I'm going to leave the same level of support, and that target of 30.5 is too high for today. I'm just going to lower this puppy to $30. So buying silver. Copper looks to be recovering. Actually, this copper just stays also within range. Nice move to the upside towards the 50-day moving average. Buying it. Bitcoin, when his speech comes up, we're gonna be seeing a lot of volatility. 50-day moving average is working precisely as a dynamic resistance for Bitcoin. So let's see if that will be able to fluctuate to the upside and do a nice rally above our level of resistance. Also buying, it's Friday. Ethereum within range, just sideways trading, choppiness. Scalpers are maybe making some nice trades in here. Then we have the currencies. After the euro making that nice move up to above 110, almost hitting 118, it retreated. Let's leave 110.750 as our level of support. The RSI has come in to be neutral again. So perhaps this is just another, perhaps we could do something like this in the event, in a reversal from the bottom, level of support for the euro. And the pound, also nice move to the upside. 131.500 is the target, buying that puppy. And then the dollar index seems to be just churning on, looking to sustain itself north of 101. Will it happen? Will today make another move to the, if today we see the dollar index makes another jump to the upside, we're going to see a lot of pressure on metals and the currencies. All right. So now this goes will drop through his speech. So keep that in mind. All right. It is Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow on Monday.